locations were tested, including the public utility plants, and this is the only place that the Nagliero is found.
Again, that is the first time we're hearing from state health officials on this in the 2 weeks that have passed and someone died after rinsing their sinuses with tap water.
Now, we want to remind you the amoeba is quite rare and you cannot get infected from drinking tainted water, only if it goes up your nose. So Fox 4's Kaitlin Knapp joins us live from a water treatment plant right there in Charlotte County.
And Kaitlin, this is encouraging news tonight, but what we're still wondering, though, is from all the situations, how did the amoeba get there?
Well, that's a question I asked Florida Gulf Coast University professor Barry Rosen. He's been studying microorganisms for decades. Now, when I talked to him before, he said that this amoeba likely didn't come from a water treatment plant such as this one off of Burnt Store Road. But when I talked to him today about this recent development, he told me how this amoeba could have potentially ended up in this particular single faucet.
There's something in the water. We need to know that.
Finally, we're able to answer that question for Punta Gorda resident Bill Comer and thousands of others who have heard about a person dying from an amoebic infection caused by rinsing their sinuses with tap water. 2 weeks after the death, the Florida Department of Health finally opened up with some answers, saying testing revealed where that amoeba came from.
Nagliero fowleri was only seen at one very specific location, a private residence.
However, Press Secretary Jay Williams wouldn't say where or anything about the victim.
Multiple locations were tested, including the public utility plants, and this is the only place that the Nagliero is found.
A single home, nowhere else at this point, which begs the question, how could this amoeba end up in somebody's house? What I asked Dr. Barry Rosen, a microorganism professor at Florida Gulf Coast University.
I don't know if they're on well water or not, but if they are on well water that isn't being chlorinated enough, and somehow there's a break and there's soil around, it's possible.
Earlier this week, Charlotte County announced it was using free chlorine until May to provide an extra layer of protection to the public water system. That announcement contained no reference to the amoeba investigation. Still, Rosen felt any action was positive.
It's better to just, know that they're doing what they can. The free chlorination is the best approach.
The Florida Department of Environmental Protection oversees these kinds of treatment. I asked if the activity in Charlotte County was because of the amoeba, and I have yet to receive a response. The state health press secretary had this to add.
We're finalizing our sequences and making sure that all the testing that needs to be done is completed and that we have solid affirmative evidence.
The Department of Health also wants to emphasize the importance of using these sinus rinses safely. Don't use any tap water, use distilled water. And the Department of Health also wanted to say earlier today when I talked to them that if you're going to be swimming in any stagnant, hot, fresh water, you are encouraged to wear nose plugs. And that's because this particular amoeba does occur naturally. But again, I also want to emphasize that getting infected with this amoeba is extremely rare. Reporting live in Punta Gorda, Kaitlin Knapp, Fox 4.
All right.